I love you too. Good evening. You look fantastic. Thank you for being here tonight. 3 years ago, during some of our country's darkest days in recent history, South Dakota inspired the nation by daring to boldly celebrate our God-given freedom. While leaders across the world use fear to manipulate, to lie, and to control people, we chose a different path. On July 3rd, we gathered at this nation's greatest monument, and we invited the world's strongest leader to join us. And President Donald J. Trump showed up. President Trump showed up, like he always does for the American people, and he has shown up here again tonight. Now, I've gotten lots of questions from people across the country about tonight's events. They want to know why. Why did you invite President Trump to come support the South Dakota Republican Party? They wanted to know, why would he waste his time in the middle of a presidential race to go to a small, insignificant state like South Dakota? Somebody really asked me that. That conversation went south pretty quickly. Another question they asked is President Trump going to pick you as the most popular and favorite governor? I said yes. So here are the facts. Chairman John Wick had this fantastic idea to bring Republicans in our state together, to rally us around our values and our principles. And I loved the idea. I told him that I would do everything I could to help him. We started discussing inviting all the candidates running to be President of the United States. Tim Scott was asked, and he declined. Vivek was invited, and he turned us down. Other candidates were asked, and all of them told us that they had better things to do. But when President Trump was invited to come be with you tonight, he said, "I will be there." You see, that's why people love President Trump. He doesn't listen to consultants. He doesn't listen to the media or the political elite to tell him what is important and what his priorities should be. To him, every American is worth fighting for. No one is better than anyone else. No one deserves to be treated differently than anyone else, and he will never forget about us, the little people in the little states that are the backbone of this country. He shows up for every American, and he fights for us every single day. Now, some people can't figure out his popularity. Why are people so loyal to him? I'm convinced it's because we have never seen anything or anyone like him ever before. And we've certainly never seen anyone like him serve in public office before. He is unapologetically himself. He's real, he's genuine, he is who he is, and he never pretends to be something that he's not. And those who hate America know that he will fight every single day to stop them from destroying this country. When I was first asked for your support, and when I stood with all of you and asked to serve as your governor, I talked about my vision for South Dakota. I believed our state could grow, that we could become stronger, expand businesses and industry, that we could pay down our debt, build stronger families, all while preserving our values and our way of life. We have done that here, and we didn't do it through more government control or by raising taxes. We did it by trusting our people and by giving them more opportunities to succeed. When the rest of the country was locking down and ordering people to stay home, we did the exact opposite. We invited people to come to South Dakota. We used it as an opportunity to tell our story. We were a city on a hill during a very dark time, and we represented hope. We showed people and the country how to do better, how to be better. Many were threatened by what South Dakota has done the last several years. Here's why. While big government socialists want more control over you and your family, your money, and your life, we chose personal responsibility. We cut taxes, we cut regulations, we let families make the best decisions for themselves, and we have thrived. We have gone from flyover country to one of the fastest growing states in the nation. South Dakota's real GDP just grew a whopping 10.1%. Our personal incomes just went up by another 9.2%. Those are both top 5 in the nation. Our population has been growing up to 10 times the national average over the past several years. We are a beacon of freedom to the nation, and we have broken tourism records every year since the pandemic. We have grown our economy faster than any other state and faster than at any other time in South Dakota history. Now let me give you all a quick refresher on South Dakota's history. January 2020, I stood in front of our legislature, and in my State of the State address, I declared South Dakota open for business. Just 2 months later, our first COVID cases came to South Dakota. I knew one thing: the only way that we were going to get through it was together. We made decisions based on the science, the facts, and the data, and the science did not support mandates or lockdowns. We asked South Dakotans to use common sense, and then we trusted them. We trusted them to use personal responsibility to make the best decisions for themselves and for their loved ones. And as a community, as a state, we went back to work. Other states were taking a very different approach. They ordered their citizens to shelter in place. They ordered businesses to lock down, ordered churches to close. Some even sent nursing home patients who had COVID back to their facilities. Those decisions were not leadership. They were made based on fear and control. Now, South Dakota, we focused on our facts. I respected my oath to the United States and the South Dakota constitutions. I respected our freedom, and I respected our people. Now, if Joe Biden had been president, he would have tried to stop me from protecting you. Thank God President Trump was in the White House at the time. He let me do my job. Results have been absolutely incredible. Earlier this year, South Dakota became the first state in American history to reach a 1.8% unemployment rate. No state has ever had an unemployment rate that low. Our people understand the value of work and having a purpose, and they understand that we were created to serve each other. Incomes have been going up faster here than anywhere else. Women-owned businesses do better here than in virtually any other state. Folks are moving here in record numbers. Our birth rates are the highest in the country. Our new housing developments have led the nation. We have had historic tourism numbers, set new records in hunting and fishing licenses sold, and cut taxes, all while building historic revenues because of our economic growth. While other states were struggling with out-of-control crime and violence and hopelessness, South Dakota enforced our laws. We respected our law enforcement officers. We even saw declining mental health challenges, declining drug overdoses, and declining suicide rates by embracing our faith and our freedom, and by working together, our people are happier. You see, I believe this is one of the main reasons why South Dakota is so attacked by those who want to see us fail. They will do anything and destroy anyone to get more control and power. We refused to comply. All we did in South Dakota is what Republicans have always said that they believed, but we did it, and it worked. Now that terrifies the liberals, because we have proof that our policies lift people up, that they help people, that they improve their opportunities for success. We don't have to speculate or guess or be philosophical about the benefits of our principles. We have proof that they work. 3 years ago on July 3rd at Mount Rushmore, I stood there to honor our nation. I quoted one of our 4 great leaders that are carved in stone on that mountain. I quoted my favorite president, Teddy Roosevelt. It is not the critic that counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles, or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs, and then comes up short again and again, because there is no effort without error and shortcoming. But who does actually strive to do the deeds? Who knows the great enthusiasms, the great devotions, who spends himself in a worthy cause, who at the best in the end knows the triumph of high achievement, and who at the worst, if he fails, at least fails while daring greatly, so that his place shall never be with those cold and timid souls who neither knew victory nor defeat. That night I used those words to introduce our special guest who is with us this evening. I introduced him as someone who knows precisely what it means to brave the dangers in the arena, someone who strives valiantly, who knows great enthusiasms, who spends himself in a worthy cause, who has firmly and repeatedly stated his commitment to place Americans, American liberty, American safety, and the American Constitution before anything else. Let me be clear. There are many who choose not to be in the arena, many who take the easy path, who criticize, who don't show up for our party, our country, or our constitutional rights. They don't show up for you when it really matters. They didn't even show up here tonight to welcome a former president of the United States to South Dakota. A president who cared enough to come and support our state Republican Party and our great chairman, John Wick. Yes, maybe it is controversial to be here tonight. Maybe it wasn't convenient, but it is not the critic who counts. Thank all of you for being respectful, for being here for a man who shows up every day for each of us. May we all know the triumph of high achievement because of those like him who fight for freedom. It is a worthy cause. I was at the southern border just 2 weeks ago. Make no mistakes, it is a war zone, and President Biden's policies are inhumane. He is ignoring federal laws, he's perpetuating drug and human trafficking, he's undermining our national security. The only person in this presidential race who will fix that situation is President Trump. He started building and funded the wall. He instituted the Remain in Mexico policy, and it worked. He supports our allies, such as Israel and Taiwan. He understands that a strong America brings a safer world. I trust President Trump to use our military only when it's in America's best interests. I have been Commander-in-Chief of the South Dakota's National Guard. I have had South Dakota Guardsmen and women deployed every single day since I have been governor. Before that, I served on the House Armed Services Committee. I know how important American strength is on the world stage. I have seen it firsthand. I have seen President Trump take decisive action time and time again. He exhibits peace through strength. He destroys our enemies, and swiftly, without hesitation. And he understands that American men and women in uniform should only be deployed as a last result. The only person in the race that I trust to do what needs to be done on these issues is President Trump. I haven't seen these other candidates fight when it really mattered, when it was hard to do the right thing for our country. Now, some of them talk pretty tough. But where were they when the pandemic was raging? When leaders were taking away people's constitutional rights? Because the government told folks that they couldn't gather together, people lost their freedom of assembly. Because the government told people they couldn't go to church, people lost their freedom of religion. Because government censored what information could be shared and what couldn't, people lost their freedom of speech. Where were these candidates then? They were silent. They were cowering. Or worse yet, they were locking down their own people. They were pushing mandates. They were closing beaches, even arresting people for taking a spring break. Now, yes, I will be attacked for speaking the truth to all of you tonight. And yes, I expect that Joe Biden, these candidates, their political operatives, and the media will perpetuate ugly, hateful misinformation in an attempt to destroy me and my family because of our opinions. It's nothing new, and frankly, I'm getting pretty used to it. But all of us here tonight, we need to heed this warning in this well-known quote. The only thing necessary for the triumph of evil is for good men to do nothing. So listen, do something. Get in the arena. History cannot and it should not be rewritten. We must remember what has happened in the past, learn from it, and not allow those who abuse their power to ever perpetuate their harm again. To President Trump, tonight, Mr. President, my message is clear. It is an honor to have you with us here in South Dakota. These people here, these people are free. We are the strongest state in America because President Trump let me do my job. We seized that moment and we told our story. As you travel this great country, point to South Dakota as the example of what is possible. We just did hear what Republicans have always said they believed, but we did it and it worked. We don't have to talk hypotheticals anymore. We kept our businesses open. We kept government out of people's lives. We cut taxes. Our government lives within its means. We have a surplus, not a debt. We fund our pensions. We take care of our veterans. We conserve our natural beauty without government mandates. We fight for true and honest education because we know how important it is to hand America off to our kids. We stand up for common sense, like fairness in girls' sports. We do our part to secure the border. We honor America's heroes. We stand for the flag, and we pray to the Almighty. And we sing the national anthem proudly. This is real America. South Dakota is the example that you should share with the rest of the country. You made America great again once. Let's do it again. It is my honor to present to you the man in the arena. He is a man of significance.